Hello. Normally I don't do this. I am a very private person most of the time. But today I thought it would be a good time to do a video because, man, I have been through so much stuff. And I heard this a lot through people. People have said the exact same thing that I'm saying. So I know I'm not exaggerating in the whole entire thing. But recently I ran into a very bad thing. Alright. And I'm not proud of it. Not proud of it at all. Not proud of not able to see the warning signs before action took place. Lucky for me that even with what everything that happened, um, I'm okay and I came out alright, and regardless, I didn't really lose a lot. Now, there are other people who get caught in something like this and they lose a lot of money. I ain't gonna lie. And you probably, by the time I said lose money, you're probably getting a hint about where I'm going with this. And you're probably like, well, you know, where a thought is coming through. But it can happen to the best of you. It can happen to anyone. You know, you don't see it coming until it does. And sometimes you can see it coming, but you're not able to stop it. It's kind of like that saying they say, you see the train coming, you can hear the warning lights, but you can't stop the train from coming. You know. So, if you're not aware of a lot of different scams that's going on out here, let me tell you something. It can happen to the best of us. You know, we're all humans. We're all born to make mistakes, and that is the true thing. But today, I think yesterday, I experienced something that I had never experienced. Usually, I am an individual that immediately that I catch on to something being wrong, I will get out of it. I usually do not engage anymore and I'm out of it. Most of the time, when it comes down to scams or trickery or manipulation, I'm able to recognize that that's happening and I'm out. And I don't allow the situation to escalate anymore. However, there are certain points or certain things that can, well, let me say it like this. There are certain times in a person's life where um, there are certain times in a person's life, yeah, there are certain times in a person's life where they could be very vulnerable. And it seems like to me that when you're at your lowest, that's when you get hit with some of the most diabolical scams that could possibly be. Or you get hit with scams that you would say to yourself, how did I fall for something as stupid as this? You know, it happens. Don't need to get yourself all upset about it when it does. The key thing is learning from it, moving on, and getting away, learning from it, moving on, and don't really beat yourself up real bad because you failed for it. I mean, they are getting more and more intelligent, and then sometimes it's hard to tell if a person is scamming you, or are they really genuinely for real. And that's where I fall into that bracket of sometimes because it's hard to recognize that is a person really genuinely real or are they trying to scam me. I do proud myself most of the time of being a very smart person. I'm not too much of a dodo bird, as what some people would say. I'm very very smart, and very intelligent, you know. But yesterday was something that was a little bit different, you know. I am a single person, has been single all my life, and that's pretty much since the time I was born up to now. I've been on a couple of dates before, but it's just like messing around with fool's gold. you think it's going to work, but only have it to not work at all. You know, you sit there, you're like, oh yeah, this might work, and then it just doesn't work. So that's usually the way that it pretty much does a lot of time with me. Anyway, last night I should have seen the flags coming. I should have seen the flags coming before they came. Um, Last night, well, it started like 3 days ago, back on Discord, and I was on Discord, and somebody sent me a friend request. It's not uncommon to get friend requests from individuals. This is something that happens. And I said, alright, I accepted it. And then when I accepted it, they asked for my picture and things like that, and which I get that a lot. And I don't mind sharing my pictures from time to time. I'm not really that much ashamed of my pictures or anything like that, so I will share. So we get to talking, we get to knowing each other, and then immediately they want to go over to Telegram. And when we go over there to Telegram, they, they start to talk to me a little more. They sound very cordial, like you would think that this is a normal person. So you don't think nothing of it, right? And then things start to, even though my gut feeling was starting to kick in and tell me that something didn't feel right, I was giving it a benefit of a doubt. You know, I was still thinking everything is alright. There's no need for me to panic. Lo and behold, I should listen to my gut feeling. And let me tell you, I learned something about the human body. The body is able to warn you a lot of times before you are able to warn yourself. So when your body is telling you that something is wrong, it knows that something is wrong because it's more sensitive to danger than your actually conscious is. So when your body, that's why you get the gut feelings and the aches and stuff in your body, because it knows when something isn't right. It's just a natural instinct. We humans have that, and a lot of animals have that. You can sense when something is not right. It's just listening to that warning before destruction is where the problem really come in at. And that sometimes it's harder to listen to a warning, especially when you're going through something in your life and you really want something to work, but it's not going to, or haven't gone worked it in a while and you really want it to work. Anyway, they came up with this story, you know, the average sad story, and showered me with a bunch of praises and seemed like that they wanted to meet me. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. But then come the most red flag in almost everything. I'm not saying every time a person do this it's a red flag, but majority of the time when they do this, it's a red flag. Um, then they start to ask for money, and let me tell you this. Usually, when you start to hear that, that's a red flag. All right. Don't never give somebody money, or definitely do not give them your personal information if you don't know them. I don't care what type of promise that they're going to say they're going to do. Don't. Period. But sometimes I have a heart, and I will listen to my heart instead of listening to my inner sense most of the time. I mean, there's nothing wrong with listening to your heart, but you have to also give yourself some, also get common sense as well, so you won't have situations that can get out of control. So I was listening to what they were saying, their sad story, and also they sound like they were very genuine. You know, they gave their speeches how honest they are, and they never lied to somebody. So I was giving them the benefit of the doubt. as I normally would in a situation like this. I was giving them the benefit of the doubt, even with my instincts telling me that something isn't right, that this don't feel right. I was still basically giving them the benefit of the doubt. Then it came down to, can you? I need some money to. And the money basically it first started off. I need some money because I don't have gas to get there to see you. Can you give me a little money? And they already were talking about their mother being sick and how they just got their mother out of the hospital and da 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 da. I was like, okay, yeah, I could do that because it wasn't a really lot. Not to me, it wasn't a really lot. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. And then they asked me to send it through PayPal, but PayPal rejected it. This is something that PayPal has been doing lately with me. If I send money, they would say it's fraud. Now, I don't know what PayPal is seeing, but I begin to think that maybe PayPal is seeing more than what I'm seeing. Anyway, um, the person that questioned and things like that, we went through a number of things and then end up getting gift cards, which I find the gift cards that they asked was very odd. I mean, I don't know too much about different gift cards, but it seems very odd. Um, I give them the gift card that they're looking for, and I thought that was the end. I thought maybe we will still be able to meet, and they gonna come down and meet me because now I gave them some gas to get down here. But then things turned a little bit more. Um, my mother is sick, and I need to get food for my mother. Can you send more money? And then that's when I cut it off for good. Because it was reaching to the territory of this person is trying to scam me from almost all that they can get. So altogether I only lost 75 compared to most people that probably lose thousands and the sweetheart gets scammed because that's what it was. What I'm saying is, don't let your heart and your desperate of being in a relationship overshadow your overall thinking because it's not worth it. And the drama and the trouble that that you can go through is not worth it. If it sounds too good to be true, then it is. And if it seems to be odd acting, just shut them off. And that's all I have to say. Period.